What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video I'd like to talk about some news-related topics as it pertains to the crypto markets. There's some interesting things that are happening right now that are going to be happening over the coming weeks, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. We're going to get into the charts first. I'm just going to do a quick little brief analysis on the charts, the price charts. We'll look at some fundamental stuff as far as that goes, and then we'll hop into these news articles here in a second, okay? So getting rid of the big face, putting on the little face here. We look at Bitcoin, and overall, what do you see? It's clearly in an uptrend. A lot of people think we're in a bear market. You guys, this is the weakest bear market I've ever seen. I would hope that this is a bear market. That's awesome if it is. No, but we have higher lows, higher highs. Overall, we're bullish. Yes, this past week we've come down a little bit. People are getting a little bit antsy either way, right? 2 days ago, everybody was bearish. The sky's falling. Today, people think that the low is in. I still believe that we have lower to go. So regardless of whatever bullish or bearish outcomes we have, just understand I believe we have a little bit lower to go, and we will likely pump in October. I think October is shaping up to be a very bullish month indeed. We could pump by the end of this month of September. There's still chances for a end of month rally here, but I do believe that we have a little bit lower to go. It depends on what we do. If we see Bitcoin, for all of you watching right now, if we do see Bitcoin close a day above $114.5 thousand, $115,000 to be safe, but $114.5 thousand. We start to close a day above there, multiple days in a row above there. That would really compel me to believe that this is the low and that we're done moving down and we're going to move up into the end of the month. If not, until then, the presumed outcome would be that we move lower. How low are we going to go? I'm thinking Bitcoin goes anywhere from like 108,000, 109,000, maybe even just below these targets here. We could go to 106, 104,000. It remains to be seen, but I personally do believe we will put in a higher low or a double bottom, something of the sort there. We look at the other chart. This is the crypto S&P 500, so to speak, right? It's the top 125 coins. It's like an index for your altcoins, excluding the top 10. You look at this and what do you see, right? We're on a daily time frame. This dates back to April of this year, 2025. We are clearly in an uptrend. We clearly have higher lows and higher highs. Perhaps we do the same thing as Bitcoin. We might see slightly lower lows, whatever. It's not a big deal, right? The markets might go a little bit lower, but we're at a low point now in the markets relative to where we are going to be going into the end of this month and into October. I very much think that if we zoom out here a little bit, we look at the other chart, you can see that we are in this massive consolidation phase here, and we're at a point where we're looking to break out. Absolutely we are. If we break out here, we break out above this high, what's holding us back from breaking out to new all-time highs? Nothing's holding us back. So the markets are really right on the edge of hitting the pedal to the metal as far as the bullish case goes, but we might have a little bit of turbulence ahead. So don't get too discouraged, don't get too excited at whatever the markets are throwing your way over the coming days and coming weeks, okay? But with that being said, let's talk about something. I wanted to save this for the end of the video, but we're going to talk about it right now, which is that the United States Senate Committee on Finance has actually announced that there will be a hearing on the taxation of digital assets. Okay, so, I looked this up. I was just looking this up on my own because yesterday when Jerome Powell was speaking, he was saying that people spend too much time focusing on what the Fed has to say. They don't spend enough time focusing on what Congress says or what the Senate says, what the United States legislators say. They have more of an impact on the economy and the private sector. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take those words to heart and I'm going to do some research. And lo and behold, today actually we find that the Committee on Finance from the United States Senate here, they have announced that there will be a hearing on October 1st at 10 a.m. I'm assuming that's Eastern time. Do your own research, figure that out, where they're going to be talking about the taxation of digital assets. Now, I'm wondering, because this is the first that they put it out on the 24th of September. 24th of September is pretty damn close to the 18th of September, isn't it? People might have been aware that this was going to come out on the 24th, and this could be quote unquote received as negative news. So there might be some selling ahead of time. Why is it negative news? They're talking about taxing crypto. Nobody wants to talk about taxing crypto. Is it going to be friendly towards crypto? Probably not. I doubt that we're going to get no tax on cryptos or anything like that. Maybe this is the hearing where Donald Trump's idea of not taxing United States founded or created cryptos. Maybe that's where they discuss this, but I have a feeling that's going to be an executive order, or maybe not. I don't know if they'll discuss this here. If that were the case, though, if we're getting some bullish news related to taxes, I would assume we'd be pumping. To be fair, in all honesty, today, the 24th, is the day that they announced this, and today, the 24th of September, we are actually moving up on Bitcoin and across the board. We're having a little bit of a positive recovery. So, as far as today goes, with this news coming out, maybe there are some positive things to outlook, but there's a little bit of uncertainty, I think, surrounding this date, October 1st, as far as what the the legislation will be, what the rulings, what the ideas are going to be promoted here and proposed on October 1st for the taxation of cryptocurrencies. I'm kind of curious to see what happens. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they're not harsh. Hopefully there's some incentives to invest in the markets and not some strict rules or strict taxes, high taxes that will prevent people from wanting to invest in the crypto markets versus investing in stocks and stuff like that. So hopefully there's nothing that's unfair here with the current administration involved. I would assume that there's going to be some, let's say, fair discussions happening, but there are people who hate crypto too who are part of the government. So we'll see. There's not really a whole lot of information other than the fact that they're just going to be talking about this. So we're going to be on the edge of our seat. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the markets kind of were at a standstill until that date, the 1st of October. If we start to move up into that date or move down into that date, that should tell you what the outcome of this hearing is going to be. Is it going to be beneficial, positive for crypto, or is it going to be something that's perceived as negative? And regardless of if it's perceived negative or positive, regardless of what outcome we do, even if we just move sideways, the market is still going to recover. We're still going to move up in October. We're still going to move up by the end of the year. All those good things are going to happen, right? But that's just something that's interesting, something to put on your calendar and pay attention to. 10 a.m. October 1st, okay? Now, there's some other things that I thought were interesting as well. Morgan Stanley is close to offering crypto trading through E-Trade, calls it tip of the iceberg through CNBC. That's what they're saying here. They've been looking to do this for a while, to get into some like real serious crypto trading. I'm pretty sure E-Trade, is it E-Trade or maybe I'm thinking of eToro? You can already trade cryptos and stuff like that, but maybe they're looking to expand their horizon. Maybe E-Trade doesn't offer any cryptos. I'm pretty sure that it does, but we are well underway in preparing to offer crypto trading through a partner model to E-Trade clients in the first half of 2026. Now, I find this interesting. I find this really interesting here, you guys. 2026, the first half of 2026, Morgan Stanley will allow cryptocurrency trading on its E-Trade platform in early 2026. Isn't it odd or maybe coincidental that I've been saying that the end of this bull market is going to happen in early 2026, the first half of 2026, specifically April, May, maybe June, March, April, May, let's say, somewhere in that kind of time frame there. That's when I think the bull market's going to be over. And that also might be when one of the largest institutions in the investing world, one of the largest exchanges or extensions of this exchange, offers trading for cryptos, right? For those of you that don't know, a lot of people think that when exchanges list cryptos, that's a very bullish outcome. That's a very bullish thing. And for the long term, it is. More on ramps are great. More exposure is great for any project, for any ecosystem out there. But when exchanges list things, when exchanges offer something to trade, typically what happens is they're acquiring whatever it is that something is. Let's say it's Bitcoin. Let's say it's Ethereum, whatever. They're acquiring that crypto, which means that this exchange, this institution in the crypto space, one of the largest players and factors in the crypto space are exchanges. They're acquiring, they're buying so that they have enough so that whenever they list it to the people, their constituents, their customers, they have enough to be able to sell and meet the demand, meet the required demand for that market, for that sector. In other words, the exchanges are buying up crypto right now, right? If E-Trade is gonna list, or some extension of Morgan Stanley is gonna list, let's see, hold on. The decision reflects Wall Street's growing interest in crypto, a market now worth nearly $4 trillion. Yeah. Hold on, wait, what's this say? Zero Hash has also announced that it reached unicorn status after raising 104 million. Okay, cool, yeah. Damn, what was I trying to say here? I was just trying to say that. Damn, what was it? I got distracted with the $4 trillion thing. Oh yeah, that whenever these exchanges are buying up cryptos, Morgan Stanley, E-Trade, whatever, Zero Hash, whatever it is, buying up cryptos, that's buying pressure. When they list the coins on their exchange, when they list it as as a thing that you, the retail investor, can partake in, you're buying these cryptos now from the exchange. In other words, the exchanges are no longer buying cryptos because they've acquired enough to sell to you. They're selling to you. You effectively replace the buying pressure of these exchanges trying to acquire as much crypto as they can before they start listing these cryptos, to now that buying pressure goes into selling pressure. Does it make sense? All I'm trying to say is that while this is a big article, this is big news. This is really big news, honestly, for the crypto space. And long term, it's another block in the foundation that is the greatness of cryptocurrency and what it has to offer in the world. Um, this actually might be negative during the time of these listings, right? 2026, Morgan Stanley allows crypto trading on one of its platforms. That's probably going to be the top. That's probably going to be at the top. Mark my words right now. This is a foreshadowing of the end of the market. Early 2026, I wouldn't be surprised. And how do I know? I'm not a psychic, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if early 2026 meant March, April, May, one of those months. One of those months. That's whenever they're going to acquire it. That's whenever they're going to list. So just pay attention to that, because this could be. We've got a basket, you guys. We've got an absolute basket full of indicators that we're watching, that we're paying attention to help us identify when the end of the market is going to be. This is one of them. This is one of them that we're going to be paying attention to. Absolutely. So throw that in your back pocket and save it for later. I don't know. Let's move on, okay? I hope you guys got something out of it. If you're liking the video so far, hit the like button, subscribe. Japan's policy shifts helped to double crypto adoption. Chainalysis. That's awesome. Changing their policies, more crypto friendly. People are more likely to adopt in Japan for crypto. That's good. It's good for Japan. It's good for the people of Japan too. Japan, with one of the most robust economies in the world, among the top 5 markets in the Asia Pacific region. Japan saw the strongest growth, with its value received on chain growing 120% year on year in the 12 months to June, according to excerpt from Chainalysis 2025. Let's see, we could look at this graph here where June 2025 versus November 2024. You can see that here, since November of 2024, things have been up a lot since that time frame. We've actually been moving lower. June here. I wonder what the total monthly value received has been over the coming months. You know, to be fair, the summer months were kind of boring. So May was all right. May and April were kind of exciting here, but June, July was kind of boring. July was all right too. I don't know. It wasn't terrible. July and August were kind of exciting, to be fair, like the middle of July going into the earlier parts of August, but a lot more activity going on here than the previous years. You can see it's not even close. It's a notable difference. Here we're at a low point, and that's higher than anything else. If not, it's just as high as the highest point that was before. So that's pretty fantastic. Japan has looked to reform its crypto laws to align the sector's rules with the traditional securities markets and change its taxation rules to lower taxes on crypto. They did have some higher taxes. Last month, the country's regulators also greenlit the first stablecoin pegged to the yen, which is great. Good for them. Yeah. Implement crypto in your economy, and your economy will start to see a little bit of a boost. That's for damn sure. Japan's growth is on the heels of important advances in its crypto industry. Chainalysis said, for some time now, regulators' restrictions have constrained the listings of stablecoins on domestic exchanges, although now this is beginning to change. That's awesome. So Japan, one of the larger, well, why this is a big deal and why we're talking about it here is because Japan, again, is one of the largest economies in the world, and them being more friendly toward crypto, having regulatory practices that aren't just friendly toward crypto, but literally show that their own citizens, their own public people are engaging more with crypto now because it's more feasible for them. It's more fair. That's a really good outlook for the markets as a whole, I think, right? There's a lot of benefits that can come from this. And I mean, Japan, Asia as a whole, man, is really advanced whenever it comes to crypto. I think that, you know, a lot of people in the in our part of the world, the Western part of the world, we're not really aware of how big certain cryptos are in Asia. Like there's cryptos here that are big in the United States and in the Western parts of the world that aren't as big in Asia. In Asia, there's like a whole different, like Tron is really big in Asia. Bitcoin Cash is actually pretty big in Asia. And other cryptocurrencies too. I'm just drawing, you know, those are just the first two that come to my head, but a lot bigger in those parts of the world than they are over here. And they've definitely got more things implemented into their society, integrated into their societies that are hopefully readily available for people to use crypto and stuff like that. But getting friendlier with the regulations is good. But let's move on. Let's talk about the $1 billion coming to Bitcoin and crypto as Shui, I don't know how to pronounce it. Juicy? Juicy. Juicy? Let's look it up. How to pronounce juicy? I think it's juicy. I'm going with juicy. Geodes. 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 Okay, well, I'm going to call it juicy because it looks like juicy to me. And I'm from the West. Geodes, that might be how you properly pronounce it. Holdings approves new treasury policy. So just another treasury company, another Bitcoin treasury company, but man, with $1 billion, that's a lot of money. Some of these companies, they announce like a $50 million, $100 million, $1 billion in the grand scope of crypto is really not that much to drop in the bucket in itself, but that's pretty serious. The company announced on Wednesday that its board has formally approved a crypto asset investment authority up to $1 billion of cash reserves deployed into cryptocurrencies. Isn't this? Yes, yeah, it's Chinese. Yeah, I thought so. Oversight, and that's cool. That's actually pretty cool because China's notorious for, again, kind of pairing this up with Japan. That's why I had these both next to each other. China's notorious for having some pretty strict crypto regulations as well. So having a publicly traded company in China that has that much capital going into it is, I think, a historical moment, really, for the space as a whole. Everybody, all the major economies are giving the thumbs up and the green lights to crypto across the board, and that's pretty fantastic, man. That's pretty awesome. So I don't really have anything else that I want to say, you guys. We're waiting for a lot of these liquidations to come down, for these longs to get cleared out. I very much believe that Bitcoin and the altcoin markets are in a very bullish posturing. Watch for the price, man. If we get above 114.5K, not if we get above there, but if a daily time frame closes above there, we're likely moving higher. That likely would be the low. But if we get above there and then we close below 114.5, we're still in this questionable territory where we might come down lower. And again, if we go lower, we clear out these longs. We go to 109K, 107K, clear out these longs, and then boom, we're singing Kumbaya, ripping through the end of the month or maybe into October. Regardless of how this month ends, I very much believe that there will be some kind of focal point around the first day of October with this Senate hearing, this Committee on Finance Oversight, talking about the taxation of digital assets. It'll be interesting to see what they have to say. I'm hoping things are good. Hopefully, they're saying things like anybody investing in digital assets gets half off taxes, or there's no short-term capital gains. It's all long-term capital gains. I don't know. Any United States cryptos that are made in the United States, zero taxes on them, whatever. Hopefully there's some kind of incentive to encourage investing, not some decentives to discourage people from looking into the crypto markets, right? Because there are green lights. Again, that's why I tried to finish it off with that. There are green lights happening, regulatory clearances happening around the world. Even the UK is getting a little bit more friendly, but not really. They'll get with it. My UK friends, you're going to get with it here pretty soon. And you guys have some freedoms with crypto as far as the United States is concerned. You have some more freedoms with crypto than we do, even on certain things. But as far as which one's more crypto friendly, I guess that's debatable. I would think the United States is more crypto friendly at the moment. Definitely gearing up to be more crypto friendly as time goes on, but we'll see. There's still a lot of things that we are a little bit strict on, but in the name of protecting investors, right? Pay attention to key things that happen as the cycle develops. As we get things like Morgan Stanley promoting an exchange that allows trading of crypto, as the hype and the euphoria picks up, know and understand that we are at that ending phase of the markets. That's always how it goes. We're in a fearful part of the markets right now, and we're at a fearful part, and we're at a high point. That's not how markets top off. We have a lot of growth to go. The cycle is far from over, and I wouldn't be surprised. Think about it this way, guys. Think about it this way. Morgan Stanley, real quick, and there's a reason why that article is included in here, okay? Morgan Stanley is one of the largest financial institutions in the world, okay? Okay. Do you think these people have some level of intelligence when it comes to the economy, whenever it comes to the markets, not just stock markets, but crypto as well? If they're going to get involved in list cryptocurrencies, do you think they have some level of intelligence? I would think they have some level of intelligence. So these intelligent people, would they list a product? Would they bring forth a product to their customers in early 2026, when the bear market has already begun, when things are less attractive? Would they be acquiring crypto now to list it whenever it's dumping so that their clientele is less likely to buy it? Or would they list it potentially at the height phase of the cycle? Do they know something that maybe the public doesn't know? Do they have insider information? Probably. They got people in high places. There's timelines with all this stuff, you guys. Timelines. And I wouldn't be surprised if the best stuff was saved for the end. That's how any good story unfolds. It's always the best at the end. And then once things are larger than life, once your head's about to explode with euphoria, that's whenever it's time to get out. And people's heads are going to explode with euphoria when Morgan Stanley and probably other institutions are offering dynamic vehicles as far as crypto trading goes. So just think about it, right? Why would they list in the middle of a bear market? A lot of people think the bear market's going to begin in October or December. Why would Morgan Stanley offer crypto then, in the beginning of the bear, in the end of the, in months into the bear market, the beginning of 2026? The bear market's already been at least 1 month in at that point. If the bear market starts in December, like a lot of people are expecting, I don't think it will. I really do think that March, April, May, mark it on your calendar, that quarter of a year time frame, somewhere in there, that's when we're going to dump. And just one more thing before I end the video here. Just because Morgan Stanley lists whatever day they list doesn't mean that that's the top. Maybe they list and 1 month later we dropped. Maybe they list and 2 weeks before that, that's whenever we topped. I don't know. But around that time frame, okay? Hopefully I've given you guys something to think about. Pay attention to the first day of October. I'll be watching that. I'll probably not be making videos during that time just to, if are we even allowed to watch it? Do we hear about it afterwards? I don't know. I'm new to paying attention to all these legislative BS things, man. I hate politics, but we got to get involved in it more if we are serious about analyzing the markets, right? This stuff does matter. And Jerome Powell said it himself, man. I took that to heart. I'm gonna be on it. Hopefully you guys will be on it as well. If you're watching the channel, you're definitely gonna be on it one way or another. So I got nothing else. I'm rambling at this point. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. And yes, this is a great hoodie, isn't it? It's a meteor, and I've got a dinosaur. It's like the end of the dinosaurs. My mother gave it to me for Christmas. It's supposed to be an ugly sweater, but I actually love this hoodie a lot, or sweater a lot. I'm not even wearing anything underneath it. It is just that comfortable. It's so soft. Anyways, take care. Bye-bye.